I hate depression. It is one of the things that I struggle with a lot in my life, and I despise it. It started to affect me in about 5th grade when my home life was kind of getting disrupted, and at that time I started to isolate myself. So usually I would spend recess alone, and I wouldn't really want to, engage with other kids at school, and I was just battling demons already. I started getting in a lot of trouble in middle school, like bringing knives to school and doing graffiti in the bathrooms and all over the school. I started smoking pot when I was roughly 14, somewhere around there. I'm not doing the math right now, but that got me in a lot of trouble as well. I remember one time where I was driving in a car with a bunch of buddies, and we were all smoking, going to one of the buddies' girlfriend's house, and I was going way too fast and ended up getting pulled over. Anyways, we all ended up getting arrested and going to jail. I became an alcoholic last year, and it kind of got way overboard. I was drinking probably 3 to 4 30 racks a week, and probably a bottle or two on top of that. Probably just one bottle, but still, I was waking up in the morning and drinking before I went to work. Eventually, through all this isolation and drug use and all these bad experiences that had happened to me, and mainly me kind of pushing people away, I ended up living in my car, and that was last year in October. So at that time, I was really feeling down in the dumps and like I had failed at life, and all these things that had happened to me or that I had done, and all these experiences were kind of climaxing to a point in my life that a lot of people call rock bottom, and I was experiencing it. So what changed for me? Right around October, I was really into watching people on YouTube, and I had just discovered the Joe Rogan podcast, and one of the things that I discovered he and his friends do is something called Sober October, and it kind of really inspired me, and I kind of figured that I could do that too, and they could be, in a sense, like a support group to keep me motivated to stay sober, which it worked out perfectly, and it kept me sober all through October. At the end of October, right when November started, I was kind of struggling with the idea of maintaining my sobriety, and I ended up having a relapse, and I drank and I smoked, and it really made me feel terrible. Like, not only the effects of the drugs on me felt bad, but I felt bad that I was going straight back to where I was just at, being at rock bottom. So it was just a really, It was really a big moment for me to realize that I didn't want this anymore. I wanted to move on and continue the progress that I had just made in October. Right around this time, in the beginning of November, I was given an amazing opportunity to have a home again. This opportunity was provided to me by my parents. This really helped me get back to my sobriety and focus on a lot of the things that were holding me back from progressing in my life. So by talking to my stepmom and having all these inspirations, such as Bert Kreischer running a marathon and all the things Casey Neistat does with running and books and magazines and stuff like that, I was realizing that running could be a really good thing for me. And my second mom, she said that she was running a half marathon. Also, my brother was going to be running that half marathon, and my dad was going to be doing the 5K. I was kind of challenged to sign up for the half marathon, which eventually I ended up doing, and I'm really glad that I did. So my second mom, she ended up making a training schedule for me that I could kind of try and stick to, which kind of worked, kind of didn't. I did my best, and I definitely had my challenges, such as shin splints, tendinitis, lack of motivation during some parts, and it was something that I needed to work on a little more and have worked on. But I'm glad that I have kind of not an end goal, but a goal to get to, which is the half marathon, and doing good in that, and probably training for another half marathon and eventually a marathon. And through my training, I realized very quickly, actually, that I could replace all of that drug use and all the fake endorphins that I was getting there with running and the real endorphins you get from that. It would have been very difficult for me to maintain my sobriety without actually running and doing the things I needed to do to get my endorphin rush. So since mid-November of 2018, when I started running, I've run just about 50 miles, which is more than I've ever run before. I've also stayed sober that entire time. I'm really glad that I've stayed sober and that I could replace the drug use with running. I'm really glad that I signed up for this half marathon, and I'm really looking forward to the things to come after running this half marathon and being sober for longer than I've ever been for the past 9 years. So I want to introduce you to my second mom, and really the main inspiration and really a major motivator to get me to actually continue training and even sign up for the half marathon. And some people would call her stepmom, and I've called her that for many years, but I feel it's about time that I start calling her something more appropriate. She really is a second mom to me, and I want to give her that. She really is the second mom to me. How about just leave it at that, Mark? Gosh, dang. Anyways, I want to introduce you to her and kind of ask her some questions, see where she started running, and see if she even thought I was going to do this. So this is my stepmom. I'm calling you my second mom. That's
good.
That's a new thing.
I'm good with that.
I first of all wanted to thank you for being an inspiration to me.
Aww.
And one of the major motivators to get me to run the half marathon and just continue running. So what got you to start running?
I got my Fitbit.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty competitive with myself. And I found that I could get more steps running in an hour than walking. Crazy how that happens. And then there were some things that were going on in our family. I just had this thought that kept coming to me. You need to run a half marathon. Well, I had not even run outside. So I was like, what are you thinking? So I kept pushing that idea away, and but it kept coming back. I found one, and it was the Thankful 13 at Thanksgiving Point on Thanksgiving Day. And I thought, well, that's symbolic. So I started training for the Thanksgiving Day race in August. And my goodness, the first time that I got outside to run, and I could do like 6 miles on the treadmill, right?
Yeah.
But then I went outside to run, I couldn't run a mile. I was like, what have I done? So I turned to your dad, I was like, I'm going to run a half marathon. And he said, well, don't you think you should do a 5K first? I said, nope, I said, I'll do a 5K in the training process.
Yeah.
But I'm going to sign up and do a half marathon. It affected me very deeply because I thought, I can do hard things. And it kind of gave me
confidence.
Yeah, it gave me confidence. And when I'd come back from doing, the first time that I was able to run a 3-mile run without stopping, I was like, giddy. I was so excited.
Yeah.
What I found was that in this whole process, the big problem that I was inspired to do it for kind of gave me some, I don't know, gave me some peace about things. So it gave me, I don't know, some motivation, just knowing that it wasn't always going to be hard. You know, somehow it translated into that, and I thought, you know what, things will get better. And some days are going to be rainy and cloudy and windy, and everything's going to be shooting against you, but you keep moving forward.
I wanted to ask you if you even thought that I was going to sign up for a half marathon 1 year ago. Like,
No.
Was it never?
That would be, not never, I mean, I never say never, but I think it was a year ago would have been very unlikely. You were in a really dark place.
I wanted to ask you how much change you've seen in me over the past 6 months, because this video is going to be about how running cures my depression.
Yeah. Oh my. If you asked me a year ago if I thought that I would ever be having a walk on a Saturday morning with you and having a really nice, easy conversation, I would probably have laughed, because I felt that I had no place in your life, you know. And so the fact that we're having this conversation and that it's so easy and so comfortable, and you know, it's just, yes, I mean, I see a night and day difference in you. I see a light in you that I never saw before, that I ached to see, I wanted to see. I knew it was there, you know. I'd seen little glimmers, little flashes of it through the years, but it just was always doused by, you know, your depression, by the substances, by what you'd been buried with, you know, through your life.
It's race day. It's cold, it's rainy, I'm nervous, but I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
Please take your...
The moth finally started. 5 miles in. I'm keeping a good pace past the 2 hour, 15-minute pacer. I think I want to shoot for under 2 hours. Oh, I'm about 8.5 miles in. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Still haven't seen the 2 hour pacer, but hopefully I'll come up on it soon. "11 miles in, I finally caught up to the 2 hour pacer. Pretty proud of myself. It's the last stretch of the race. I can see the finish line. It hurts, but I'm gonna make it. Haven't stopped running yet. That's the finish. Made it just over 2 hours. go ahead and subscribe, please. It would help me and it'll help you stay tuned to my progress. Leave a comment if you are making progress of your own, or if you signed up for a half marathon, or if you like to run. Leave a like if you liked this video or the progress that I'm making, and keep moving forward.